Hello and welcome to my Supernatural Diaries. Redeeming Thunder is this wonderful channel that Yahuwah has given me over 3 years ago to start up, to share all of my supernatural experiences as of childhood until now. And the series that he has been giving me has a lot to do with my own life waiting for a promise. And one of these is the Prodigals to Return. Now, this is a real life story that also comes with a vision. Now, I'm giving this word now because Yahuwah said to provide all of the words that he gave me regarding the prodigals, because as soon as I do that, and that they will be ready to return. Now we are in the month of January 2025, but this word was given to me in June. So 6/7/2024 was the exact date. And that was a particular day that was important to me because that was the day that I chose to go and attempt to speak with my daughter. I finally found my children after what seemed like 3 years of not knowing where they were. And I received notice in an email that her school was changed, and so I wanted to go and see if I could talk to her, and or at least make a counseling appointment to speak with the counselor, because I had some concerns. And as I was getting ready, I heard Yahuwah say, "You're going for nothing, because you're not going to be able to talk to her." And I don't know about you, but if you heard something along the lines where you are missing and longing for a loved one, and you already been told that you're not going to be able to see them. So of course you're going to be incredibly brokenhearted, and you're going to probably want to go anyway, just to be a bit closer, even in the same city, in the same building would be helpful for peace of mind. Well, anyways, that's what I did. I didn't tell anybody. That's what Yahuwah told me. My husband was telling me, it's going to be a waste of time. You're not going to be able to see them. And I didn't want to listen to him either, because I was really trying to connect. I had something very important to share with the counselor. It's quite personal, so I'm not going to say those details. But we went with a couple of my children, and this is what happened. I hear Sapa on the way over. And Sapa means to be watchful, to be a watchman. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm sure Yahuwah is going to give me a clue. He's wants me to look out. Sometimes it also means to give the prophetic word of the warning. But in this instant, I really felt he was going to give me a particular detail to look out for. So we get there, and we're waiting. I'm waiting in the lobby area of the counselor's office, waiting to be called. And waiting for quite some time, about 45 minutes, even though I got there on time. They finally call me back. I'm still thinking I'm supposed to be on the lookout, okay? But I don't really know what to look for. As I walk through the hallway towards the right where her office was at, there's another office that's pretty empty. It just has a computer in the corner, like a corner desk computer, but it was off. And I see somebody. I see a girl sitting there, looking at the black screen computer. It looked a little bit odd to me, you know, but and the hair looked familiar. It had it was dark brown hair with some golden, very thin highlights. And I thought I've seen that hair before, and I'm like, that looks kind of like my daughter. Instantly I thought that, you know. But in that moment I wasn't sure, because I really thought that she was going to be waiting in the room and we were going to be all able to chat together of the concerns I had. That's the first thought that I had in my mind. And then as I went in and I started explaining my serious concerns, it kind of went away from my mind. And I was explaining everything to the counselor, you know, that I finally found them after so many years. It took so many years because none of the family members were giving me, that knew, would tell me or my husband where they were. So they were purposely in hiding. And then the phone numbers, there wasn't really certainty if that was still their phone numbers or not. And so it was getting very scary. I don't know about you, but just the thought, just imagine not knowing where your children are at is catastrophically horrid. And if you don't trust the person that's taking care of them, all the more. Okay? So it's been extreme amount of suffering just in that piece. But as I was elaborating and explaining, I forgot that potentially could be her probably listening on the other side of the door. I speak kind of loud when I am passionate about what I'm talking about. So, and I recall it was several details, and it was showing my pain in it. I was expressing my pain. I was showing it by actually expressing it. I was crying. And the meeting wasn't going to be with both of us in there, because with the court order I could only pick them up on Fridays. So that day was not a Friday, so I was not able to. And I had this big bag that I carried around that had a Bible, a study Bible in there. Oh, I just saw a hummingbird on this really pretty tree. Okay, so there were some fun little projects, you know, that I put it there, something for nails, and there were some gifts, you know, that I had, and I brought it. But that moment after, you know, ending my conversation with the counselor, I was so much in turmoil, I just didn't take the time to drop it off at the office, because I thought I'll go back a different time and drop it off. And then life happened. There was a lot that happened, okay? And I'll explain a little bit more. And so then we drove home. And then the next day, I got in the shower, and I was very, very sad. I was very much in turmoil, and I was asking Yahuwah, how much longer? How much longer do I have to wait? So when can I give the letter? I remember asking that. When can I give the letter of initiating my parenting time, now that I know where they are? And this was back in June 2024. Okay? So obviously when I first found out where they were was around that time frame, with no help from anybody, okay, to gather that information. I still was asking Yahuwah, when can I launch forth any kind of court paperwork, any kind of attempt to communicate, to have them come? Like, when can I do that? I didn't just, obviously you're going to want to do it in that moment when you finally found out where they are, right? You're not going to want to wait. You felt like you waited enough. Wouldn't it feel that way? Of course it would feel that way. But see, I'm in the motion of extreme obedience. I'm trying to anyway. And I know that there's appointed times for everything, so I wanted to make sure it was in his right timing. Anyway, he says the wait is almost over. It's almost over. And that's all he said in that moment. So he didn't give me an exact month yet. Now it's the month of January 2025, and he did give me the time frame. Okay? A closer time frame of when I'm supposed to be doing something. But I'm in there, and I'm sitting there, and the water is hitting me, and I'm holding on to my tummy. And at the time, I'm 14 months pregnant. And he says, be at peace. Be at rest. Be at peace for our baby. So 14 months would be about 3.5 months. So in that time frame, I didn't realize what he's doing in this hour is an acceleration to get your promise. I had no idea that he's accelerating the moment. He's accelerating your life. The dimensions of time is moving quicker so that you can gain your promise. Why do I know that? Because something was birthed. I kept receiving prophetic word of birthing season between the month of May through September. So something was going to be birthed. And around September, the number in itself means to birth. It's birthing. And what was ironic in all itself was I actually gave birth in September. And if you calculate the months, it doesn't really make sense because it takes 9 months to birth, right? But Yahuwah made me birth an actual baby in the month of birthing, even though it was 3 months early. Yes, did I say 3 months early? Yes, I gave birth to my own baby 3 months early. So that in itself, it did extreme, obvious of purposeful acceleration. And that's another video in itself to explain all of that. But I want to stay on topic here and explain that something supernatural is happening. I've been documenting my supernatural occurrences and putting them on this channel because one day, or if you're already going through it, this is the keys of how to survive. And this is the keys of how to ascend. He has given me the keys of how to sabotage the enemy's plans, how to win, have victories, okay? How to survive, basically survive, because everything that has occurred could have killed us. They were actually trying to kill us. not just spiritually, physically, like literally. And we're still standing. Like we could be the most rotted, bitter hearts. And why don't we have that? We're not perfect, and we do get mad, and we do get bitter. But we're able to snap out of it at an accelerated rate because of the obedience that we're doing. But it's still a journey. You know, we're human, and Yahuwah is providing supernatural he sustains. He's providing supernatural assistance. Okay, so what you are going through in this world is not just humans attacking humans. It is supernatural. There is demonic forces, and it's been a journey of Yahuwah had to have our lives exactly who we have in our lives right now are exactly who is supposed to be in it, and exactly whoever not in our lives right now. He had to dwindle the circle to a very small circle, because when the prodigals return, certain individuals were not supposed to be around to taint and dismantle that relationship connection. They're not supposed to be in it, okay? Because they have malintentions. And so right now we're also in, extreme discernment needed, because he probably won't give you what you want, and these promises won't occur if you're still hanging around those that are ready to sabotage. So you have to let certain people go in order to obtain the promises, to ascend. And that is the Gold Series. But besides that, I wanted to share the vision I received on this particular day. So the vision was, as I'm praying, okay? It's coming as I'm praying and sitting still. I see 2 red hearts floating into this blue sky with white clouds. Then I see these boxes. They look like squares. So the square here, and inside the square there's another shape that's cut out that looks like a heart. And through that inner heart, where these other hearts are floating into it, okay? That little piece there looks like a galaxy sky. It looks like a starry night sky, which I realize it's a portal within. As soon as these 2 red hearts go within their own each square, and they imprint inside, flush into that cutter heart cut out shape, there's an electrifying of red, pink, and purple, electrifying the heart all around, each of both. And I'm understanding that it is my prodigal children. Those are the hearts that were floating. Then I see that there's this bright white light, almost like a star, that goes right in the center of these hearts. And when that happens, instantly in my mind, I hear it's a heart transplant. That is what's happening in this hour. And then more electrifying purple and white highlight is, and the heart is also pounding. The heart is also pounding. So then, like it's thumping, like it's alive. Like it not only was a heart transplant, but it was ignited with electricity. It was ignited supernaturally, brought back to life. And in that moment, I realized there's only one that can do this. There is only one that can bring hearts back to life. And that is Yahusha. And I realized that they're not able to forgive and to comprehend how to make amends. They don't know how to do that because they didn't have the right heart to do that. So they needed a brand new heart, a brand new one that was made in the heavens, because that's where I saw it. One that was made there. And that is what's happening with the prodigals that you're waiting for. They are getting brand new hearts. It is a heart transplant, and it's also been electrified with supernatural power, ignited. And it is the power of Hesed, which is the power of love. Hallelujah. Then I hear Yahuwah say, Sabal, ultra. And when I research what Sabal means, it means a heavy burden. It means to carry with suffering. And then means alas, and ultra means ultraviolet, or to the full extent, to the farthest of beyond. Okay? To the extreme. And I'm thinking long-suffering. So, to endure long-suffering to the full extreme, to the beyond. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. Why are you causing me to go through this to the extreme? Long suffering, why? And then Yahuwah says, moments later, because I'm not just showing you long suffering. I'm embedding in the prodigals. I'm embedding in them what the fruit of long suffering is. Because long suffering is one of the fruits of the Spirit. If you didn't know that. We need to learn the weight of the promise. And then he says, I sustain thee in this hour. I sustain. And when I research what I sustain or sustain means, it means to strengthen physically and or mentally. And when I research, well, that is what's needed, don't you think? Because if you weren't receiving any kind of strength to get through all this, of course one would crumble in despair. So there is something supernaturally sustaining me in this hour, supernaturally sustaining my husband in this hour to get us through day by day. Because we couldn't do it in our own strength. It's something that's supernaturally sustaining them, your prodigal. Because no one can do things all on their own. Okay? It doesn't work that way. Those that sometimes calamities and catastrophes occur because they were doing it with their own strength. or we're not doing it with our own strength. We're not in the long suffering even by ourselves. Hallelujah for that. But besides that, when I researched what sustain means in Hebrew, it gave me this verse in Ezra. And it was talking along the lines of Zerubbabel, son Shealtiel, and Jeshua's son were rebuilding the temple, and the prophets of Yahuwah were there to assist them, to help them rebuild the temple. And I'm like, oh, that was interesting. That's a really good verse. And then I had to reread it and be like, when it's talking about the sons, it's talking about the offspring. Okay? So they are in the process of rebuilding the temple. And the prophets are going to help them. That's the stage that we're going to be at. Hallelujah. And they're going to be willing to rebuild the temple. The temple is ourselves. So, stay tuned for more revelations, downloads from heaven above with my supernatural diaries on this channel, Redeeming Thunder, because I have some more prophetic word to give regarding the prodigals returning home. And I recently had a dream, and this would be in the time frame of actual January 2025, and that one was just so marvelous. You're going to want to hear that. You're going to want to understand where they are in this hour, and it is so beautiful. It is so majestic the way Yahuwah explains it, and it's just, he is so very detailed, and he really cares about your matter. He really cares about your family, and he's showing that it's in its appointed time, that it's very much coming soon, that they return. And they return for good, and they return with a brand new heart. Shalom.